pulse of life surges along the world's largest migration corridor, a breathtaking spectacle of movement and raw power. Here, giants, the African buffalo, tear through the dense forest, their colossal footsteps thundering like ancient war drums echoing through the savanna. The ground trembles beneath the weight of these magnificent creatures. Predators, acutely aware of this constant movement, stalk the edges of the woodlands. A single, brittle twig snaps underfoot, a chilling reminder of the vigilance required to survive. These hunters patiently wait for just the right moment to break cover and seize their prey. Within the woodlands of Serengeti, a remarkable biological zone transition occurs in East Africa. This region is a battleground, a place where the most powerful predators, lions, leopards, and hyenas, fiercely compete for the coveted crown of the top predator. It's a brutal, beautiful struggle for dominance. But who truly reigns supreme? Who is the most skillful hunter in this incredible ecosystem? Let's find out. Welcome to the woodlands of Serengeti, a world of breathtaking encounters and the relentless pursuit of survival. Not the vast savanna or the untouched rainforests, just tall, scattered trees with quiet, open ground beneath. That's the rugged face of the woodland. Within it, the rhythm of life never stops, moving in tune with the raw pulse of survival. The warriors guarding this land never truly rest. Or maybe they're simply fighting to carve out their own place in it. Impala and Warthog stay alert, listening for the claws of the leopard. The migrating herds flee a silent fear known as the Nile crocodile. Whenever they lean down to drink, Cebus monkeys spend their lives in the high branches, hoping to make it through just one more day. Clouds of dust and mud burst into the air under the stomp of a buffalo, a herald that a battle is about to begin. The wild doesn't wait for tomorrow. Any moment could be the last. Some dive in, jaws snapping. Some give chase, others wait in still, quiet ambush. Ambush. Can you guess which creatures rule the woodlands of Serengeti? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and keep watching to see if you guessed right. The Serengeti stretches from Tanzania into parts of Kenya, encompassing an ecosystem that spans over 30,000 square kilometers. This vast area includes endless grasslands, scattered woodlands, the Ngorongoro Conservation Area, and the Masai Mara Game Reserve. The strips of woodland in the Serengeti are mainly found in the western and northern parts of Serengeti National Park, where the landscape gradually shifts from open plains to sparsely treed terrain. These woodland patches are scattered throughout the region, some stretching all the way to the Kenyan border, others trailing down slopes toward Lake Victoria, the continent's immense mirror and Africa's largest freshwater lake. This is the subtle boundary between the open savanna and the dense canopied forests. Rolling terrain weaves together low valleys and crater highlands, enriched by mineral-rich basalt soil, formed from the ash and lava of ancient volcanoes. Scattered across the grassy expanses are bare granite kopjes, stone islands rising from a sea of green. Above, the open canopy of acacia and conifera trees lets light through, while below, grasses and shrubs nourish a thriving ecosystem of over 500 bird species and 70 large mammal species. During the rainy season, Serengeti's woodlands take on a fresh, vibrant green. Daytime temperatures climb toward 27 degrees Celsius, while the nights remain pleasantly cool, around 15 degrees Celsius. Rainfall peaks between March and May, with a shorter rainy spell bringing lighter showers from November to December. Temporary streams and pools appear, catching the light like scattered mirrors across the wild landscape. This is when many herbivores gather to graze, drawing in predators that use the trees and shrubs as cover to stay hidden. The Nile crocodile stands as the most enigmatic predator of this wild landscape. When heavy rains arrive, they transform shallow basins into sprawling pools that stretch along the edges of the Gmedi River and its winding tributaries. Here, crocodiles wait with infinite patience. For weeks on end, they remain submerged beneath the murky surface, only their eyes and nostrils exposed, silent traps, biding their time. They emerge only to hunt, or to bask motionless in the sun upon sandy riverbanks. Inside a crocodile's mouth lie between 64 and 68 sharp, cone-shaped teeth, not meant to slice, but to grip and hold with unyielding strength. The bite force of a fully grown adult can reach an astonishing 22,000 newtons, enough to crush the bones of an antelope or even a buffalo. Yet despite this monstrous power, the muscles that open their jaws are surprisingly weak. Almost all of their strength lies in the adductor mandibulae, the muscles that slam the jaws shut, while the small depressor mandibulae, used to open them, remain slender and frail. When the time comes to strike, a crocodile needs only to keep its mouth open, waiting for that sudden explosive snap, a trap sprung with terrifying precision. Among these reptiles, size dictates status. The largest and oldest males dominate the hierarchy, claiming the prime basking grounds and the first rights to any kill. Their communication is as primal as their presence. Deep hisses, guttural bellows, and powerful tail slaps that ripple across the water like warnings carved into the current. With the rains, life surges back. Herbivores flock to the rivers to drink, unaware of the danger beneath the surface. The crocodiles take full advantage, lurking near well-trodden waterholes. They exploit the water's reflection to cloak their approach before exploding forward with shocking speed. large prey stands little chance. Dragged beneath the surface, suffocated, and finally subjected to the infamous death roll, a violent twist that tears flesh apart. Often, other crocodiles join in, sharing the spoils of the kill. But these predators possess another extraordinary trait: the ability to endure long months without food. Thanks to a slow metabolism and the capacity to store energy from a single large meal, they can wait in ambush for weeks, their strength undiminished, their patience unbroken. Now, as the river's surface ripples softly, a Nile crocodile lies hidden, waiting for its next victim. Yet further inland, beyond the water's edge, the Miombo woodland stirs with another force: the low, majestic rumble of giants. African bush elephants arrive in great herds, moving across the savanna like living tanks of muscle and memory. Their immense footsteps crush shrubs and grasses, while wet mud cakes their skin in a protective armor. Each stride snaps branches underfoot, carving new paths through the woodland. But elephants never walk alone. Above their broad backs, flurries of white wings follow like drifting satellites. These are cattle egrets, small opportunists that shadow the herd, seizing the insects disturbed by every step. Even closer are the red-billed oxpeckers. With crimson eyes and sharp beaks, they scour the wrinkled hides for ticks, often probing into open wounds to sip blood, a partnership both beneficial and parasitic. According to a 2023 study in the African Journal of Ecology, more than 70% of elephants host these birds, particularly during the wet season when parasites thrive. The season of rains also transforms the diet of elephants. Grass, abundant and nutrient-rich, forms up to 70% of their intake, as reported by the International Journal of Sciences in 2022. They spend most of their day grazing, but as the dry season grips the land, their feeding shifts toward tougher browse, bark, branches, and woody plants. Every herd is led by a matriarch, the keeper of memory. Her knowledge of hidden waterholes and ancient migration routes guides the family through hardship. Young males, however, leave between the ages of 10 and 19, living solitary lives or joining bachelor groups, reducing conflict while preserving the cohesion of the herd. The elephant's anatomy is a masterpiece of survival. Vast ears act as thermal regulators, releasing heat by pumping nearly 20% of their blood through the paper-thin flaps, an adaptation described in Live Science 2025. Their wrinkled gray skin, etched with thousands of fine cracks, traps water and mud, creating a cooling layer against the relentless sun. At the center of this design lies their most versatile tool, the trunk. A living siphon, it draws water to drink, sprays cooling showers, and digs into parched riverbeds to unearth hidden reserves. These wells often become lifelines for countless other species. The trunk is also a channel of communication, a submissive gesture when pressed to the mouth of a dominant, or a tender caress when a mother soothes her calf. Mud baths serve as armor, shielding skin, repelling parasites, and offering relief from the heat. Yet elephants reshape more than themselves. By snapping branches, stripping bark, and felling small trees, They transform woodlands into open clearings where sunlight fuels new growth. They are ecosystem engineers, dispersing seeds in nutrient-rich dung that nourishes the soil and plants of the next generation. During the rains, elephants follow the green wave, tracking the flush of new grasses. An adult consumes up to 150 kilograms of vegetation in a single day and drinks as much as 230 liters of water. Herds congregate near rivers, ponds, and shallow pools, landscapes bursting with life. It is also the season of renewal. Female elephants come into estrus when food is abundant, while males in must roam far and wide in search of mates. Observations confirm that this heightened state coincides with the rains, when conditions favor new beginnings. By dusk, the elephants move on, leaving churned earth, stripped bark, and freshly dug wells in their wake. In the coming days, grasses will return, nourished by the spaces they cleared and the seeds they scattered. With each step, the woodland regenerates beneath their weight. As the last of the rain dissolves into the valley, it rings like a quiet bell, an atmospheric cue heralding a far grander movement. There is no ceremony, no fanfare, only the deep, rolling thunder of hooves pounding across grassland. The Great Migration begins, more than 2 million wildebeest moving westward, toward the fertile basins of the Gramati and Mara rivers. Along their route lie ecological crossroads, acacia woodland and riverine forest. These transition zones provide shelter, lingering moisture, and pockets of young grass sprouting in the shade. Here, wildebeest pause to graze, drawn to the nutrient-rich shoots infused with nitrogen and phosphorus, vital sustenance for nursing mothers and their fragile calves. GPS mapping of the herds reveals that wildebeest typically linger in these woodlands for 7 to 12 days. At the forefront are plain zebras, natural pathfinders, and vigilant sentinels. Their height and sharp vision allow them to guide the herds and detect danger before it strikes. Alongside them stand the Masai giraffes. Though not migrants themselves, their towering silhouettes act as living watchtowers. When a giraffe halts or flees, the rest of the woodland takes notice, an unspoken alarm that predators may be near. And predators are never far. In the quiet green shadows, Nile crocodiles lurk at the water's edge. A constant dread murmured among the herds. When prey bends to drink, the sun's reflection blinds them. It is then the river snaps shut in ambush. Many wildebeest perish not to the crocodile's jaws, but in the frenzy of the crossing, trampled beneath their own kind, or swept away by the current. Leopards, too, wait with patient silence, concealed among the woodland's dense trees. A single misstep during the crossing is all they require. The woodland itself erupts with alarms. Vervet monkeys shriek from the canopy, while red-billed oxpeckers lift from the backs of startled buffalo. Heavy bodies churn narrow paths into the soil, leaving deep footprints that fill with rainwater. They tear through shrubs, opening gaps for sunlight to pierce, gaps where, once the storm passes, new grass will take root. At such moments, the woodland becomes a crossroads of survival, a living corridor where species converge to drink, to graze, and to gamble with fate. A 2025 study by the Multidisciplinary Digital Publishing Institute confirms what the herds already know. Woodlands, with their capacity to retain moisture and sustain diverse plant life, are critical refuges during the transition from dry to wet seasons. Yet not all survive the passage. The frail young, or those who lag behind, vanish without a trace. No one turns back. It is a game of chance, with nature as the referee, and when the herds move on, the woodland holds its silent record. Claw marks on bark, wells dug by elephants, trunks broken in the crush of movement. In the hush that follows, resident species linger in the shade, as if offering quiet blessings to the survivors. The predators wait in stillness, and the cycle of life resumes, without a single word. And now, the woodland shifts once more into a harsher, more unforgiving phase. Leaves fade to yellow, streams shrink to silence, and the earth beneath a thinning canopy cracks under the weight of drought. The air itself grows brittle. Shafts of sunlight pierce through the canopy, searing the ground below, where bare patches and dust now reign. It is the season of fire. Wild blazes sweep across the woodland, sparked by wind, lightning, and tinder dry grass. Yet here, fire is not only a destroyer, it is a sculptor. Flames clear away old growth, enrich the soil with ash, and awaken seeds that have lain dormant for years. Unlike dense rainforests, these woodlands have evolved to withstand fire. Acacia trees bear thick armor-like bark, while the grasses regenerate within weeks of being scorched. This is the trial of the dry season, a time only the most adaptable can endure. Even after nightfall, the air remains heavy with heat, rarely dipping below 25 degrees Celsius. For some, it's a reprieve. For one, it's opportunity. The leopard. A solitary figure, silent, commanding. Where lions roar to announce their power, the leopard rules through absence of sound. Every creature here knows that silence is the mark of its reign. Its golden coat, freckled with black rosettes, dissolves into bark and shadow. Its eyes burn like coals in the twilight. Yet, the short grasses of the dry season limit its cover. So the leopard turns to a different stage, the watering holes. Here, thirst draws all life together. And here, the leopard waits. Research in biological conservation confirms that during the dry months, leopards increase their hunting success by as much as 7% when ambushing near water. At night, their world expands. GPS tracking reveals they travel nearly twice as far after sunset than in daylight. Males patrol vast territories, asserting dominance. Females with cubs tread carefully, restricting their range to shield their young from rival males who may kill cubs not their own, forcing the female back into estrus. In this harsh season, such infanticide becomes more frequent. But the females fight back with strategy, concealing their young, moving dens, and mating with multiple males to blur paternity, an evolutionary safeguard against extinction. When the hunt begins, the leopard becomes a shadow, flattened low. Each step is a whisper across the dust, closing the distance with surgical precision. A single burst, and the silence explodes. Large prey are subdued with a suffocating bite to the throat or nape. Smaller victims are dispatched with a swift bite to the skull. But the kill is not complete until it is hidden. On average, the leopard drags its prey nearly 100 meters to cover, often hoisting it into the high branches of a tree, sometimes over 10 meters above the ground. Hanging carcasses sway like grim trophies, a declaration of ownership against lions and hyenas. The leopard is not bound to the earth alone. Though rarely seen, it can swim, crossing streams and narrow rivers when the need arises. In the dry season, as lakes shrink, this ability is seldom used, and the leopard instead shifts its focus to larger prey, storing energy for the lean days ahead. Here, in the grip of the dry season, the leopard endures, not through strength and numbers, but through silence, stealth, and an unrivaled mastery of adaptation. They hunt with precision, waiting for the perfect moment, never allowing prey to slip away. Here, the leopard's true weapons reveal themselves: extraordinary hearing and night vision. Its eyes are equipped with a tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer that captures every fragment of light, granting clear sight in near darkness. Its ears catch the faintest stir, the crunch of a hoof on dry leaves, the flick of a rodent tail. Even its claws withdraw completely, ensuring each step remains silent. A muscular frame delivers sudden, explosive bursts of speed, and when the leopard speaks, it does not roar, it coughs, a rasping call, low and hoarse, carrying just far enough through the woodland night to stake its claim. Not a cry to intimidate, but a signal, clear, deliberate, and understood by rivals. Through this stealth and selectivity, the leopard plays an unseen role in shaping the ecosystem. It regulates mid-sized species, small antelope, warthogs, even rodents, preventing imbalance and cascading collapse. Unlike lions or hyenas, which dominate through brute force, continues to track leopards as ecological indicators. Where leopards persist, balance endures. Their survival signals a healthy system still intact. But the leopard's mastery comes at a price. For every step it takes deeper into survival, another life must falter. In the order of the wild, the endurance of one demands the fall of another. And as the herds fade into the distance, the Nile crocodile drifts silently beneath the water's surface, waiting for nightfall. Beyond the clearing, another figure enters the stage, the Masai giraffe. Stepping gracefully into the gaps the elephants have left behind, towering above the acacias, it feeds on the tender canopy, a sentinel of the savanna's highest reaches. This is the tallest of all giraffe species and the tallest land animal on Earth. An adult Masai giraffe can stand as high as 5.9 meters, with nearly half of that height carried in its long, elegant neck. This remarkable build allows them to reach treetops few other herbivores can touch. During the rainy season, when acacia trees burst with fresh leaves, they feed from the canopy downwards. In doing so, they thin the crown, keeping it from growing too dense, and maintain the openness that defines the woodland. Sunlight filters through the gaps they create, nurturing grasses and lower plants that feed countless other species. But their towering stature also carries a hidden vulnerability. To drink, a giraffe must splay its legs or bend its knees to reach the water's surface, a moment of dangerous exposure. In that posture, they become prime targets for lions or leopards. To minimize risk, they choose wide, open watering holes, drink in rapid gulps, and then snap their heads upright, ever alert to danger. Socially, giraffes are fluid in their gatherings. During the rains, they often form temporary groups known as towers. These loose herds, made up of individuals of all ages and sexes, assemble briefly around abundant trees or watering spots. Though there is no hierarchy, safety lies in numbers. More eyes scanning the horizon means less chance of being caught off guard. Yet this giant of the savannah is now under threat. Since 2019, the Masai giraffe has been classified as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Over the last 3 decades, their numbers have plummeted by nearly half, from 70,000 to just around 32,000 in the wild as of 2024. Habitat loss, human encroachment, and poaching, whether for meat or body parts used in traditional practices, have all pushed these animals toward decline. Their story is a stark reminder. Even the tallest creatures on Earth can be brought low by pressures rising from below. The crown of the savannah belongs to only one, the lion. Unlike others, it has no need for rivalry or recognition. As apex predator, it knows its place, both as hunter and as keystone in the ecosystem's balance. Within the pride, roles are clear. The dominant male defends territory and cubs, while the lionesses, sleek, precise, and powerful, carry out the hunt. From the edge of woodlands, where shadow meets open grass, they lie in wait. This threshold is the death line, the boundary every prey must cross. Here, lionesses strike with coordinated force. The male holds back, standing sentinel against threats. Yet, tradition governs the feast. Even after a successful kill, the first bite belongs to him, a reflection of the pride's strict hierarchy. Lions are unique among cats. They live in prides, complex social units bound by cooperation, hunting, defending, and raising the young together. Males, with their thick manes, impress rivals and lionesses alike. More than ornament, the mane serves as armor, shielding the head and neck in battle. The darker and fuller the mane, the stronger and more desirable the male, as studies from the University of Minnesota reveal. A lion's roar, carrying up to 8 kilometers, proclaims dominance across the plains. It defends territory, summons allies, and keeps bonds strong in the vastness of night. For young males, life is unforgiving. At 2 to 3 years of age, they are cast out, forced to wander in search of their own realm. When they seize a pride, they often eliminate rivals' cubs, driving females into estrus, a brutal but effective strategy to secure their own lineage. A lion's territory may span 20 to 400 square kilometers, each boundary marked with scent and thunderous roars. During the dry season, water holes become magnets for prey, and ambush grounds for lions. They wait by rivers, rocky outcrops, or thick cover, relying less on speed than patience and teamwork. Capable of bursts up to 80 kilometers per hour, they cannot sustain them for long, making stealth and coordination essential. Diet shifts with place and season. In the western Serengeti corridor, zebras may form nearly half of their prey, alongside buffalo, wildebeest, and warthogs. In the Masai Mara, buffalo hunts grow more common. Yet lions do not simply follow prey abundance, they choose terrain that favors the ambush. Hunting success averages just 20 to 30%. To conserve energy, lions rest up to 20 hours a day, reserving their power for the cool veil of night or the break of dawn. But even rulers are not untouchable. Across Africa, lion numbers are falling. A 2025 study in conservation biology warns that prey loss is driving population declines. It is a stark reminder: if the balance between predator and prey is broken, the entire savanna could shift. And in the open grasslands, there can be only one true sprinter: the cheetah. The cheetah is the fastest land animal on Earth, capable of reaching speeds of up to 120 kilometers per hour in mere seconds, acceleration that rivals a Ferrari. This astonishing performance is made possible by a lightweight frame, a streamlined body, long, powerful hind limbs, and a tail that works like a rudder, steering each sudden turn with precision. But speed comes with a cost. Their narrow skull reduces wind resistance, yet it also leaves them with weaker jaws and shorter canines, ill-suited for prolonged struggles or defending a kill against larger rivals. To survive, cheetahs select their battles carefully, focusing on the vulnerable, the young, the solitary, the stragglers of the herd. Before the chase begins, a cheetah climbs a termite mound or low rise, scanning wind direction and the movements of gazelles. Like a sentry on watch, it waits for the perfect moment. When the distance narrows to less than 100 meters, the sprint begins. Explosive, lightning fast, but brief, rarely more than 300 meters, before exhaustion and overheating set in. For years, scientists believed overheating forced cheetahs to abandon hunts, but research at the University of the Witwatersrand revealed otherwise. Body temperatures during the chase rarely exceed 38.4 degrees Celsius, rising only after a successful kill, triggered not by exertion but by stress. Even with these limits, cheetahs are remarkably efficient hunters. In the Serengeti, they succeed in 40 to 50% of their attempts against Thompson's gazelles. A female can provide around 10 kilograms of food daily for her family, though she consumes less herself. To maximize success, cheetahs hunt during the twilight hours of dawn and dusk, when the savanna is cooler and dominant predators less active. Yet, unlike leopards, they cannot retract their claws. This gives them unmatched traction while running, but denies them the ability to climb trees or hoist their kills out of danger. Every hunt must be consumed on the ground, vulnerable to theft. Indeed, Up to 12% of their kills are stolen moments after the takedown by lions or hyenas. The cheetah's existence is one of constant risk. Their reproductive rate is low, and their young are perilously fragile. In the wild, as many as 90% of cubs under 3 months do not survive. Hidden in the grass while their mother hunts, a single discovery by a predator can end an entire litter. Cheetahs roam vast territories, ranging from 450 to 1,500 square kilometers, patrolled with quiet efficiency. Unlike lions, they defend these ranges not with violence, but with scent, marking the land with minimal conflict. Here, on the endless plains, the cheetah is both the epitome of speed and the embodiment of fragility. Africa's most elegant hunter, racing against time, rivals, and the odds themselves. The woodland's thin, giving way to the vast golden openness of the Serengeti central savanna, an endless ocean of grass rolling beyond the horizon. Here, cycles of rain and drought govern the rhythm of life. With the rains, the soil softens, grasses surge skyward, and the plains become one of the richest grazing grounds on Earth. In the dry season, the green fades to brittle yellow, water vanishes, and dust scours the land. It is in this crucible of extremes that Africa's most spectacular migrations unfold. From the shimmering edge of the savanna, a lifeline begins to move. Blue Wildebeest, a river of muscle and horn, flowing dark and unbroken across the cracked earth. A migration not of individuals, but of an entire species, moving as one. Their synchronized birthing strategy overwhelms predators through sheer force of numbers. Within just a few weeks, thousands of calves are born in what biologists call a calving pulse. For lions, hyenas, and wild dogs, the abundance is a feast, but isolating a single calf amid the flood of newborns becomes nearly impossible. As the dry season tightens its grip and the grasses turn brittle and gold, the herds press onward, drawn toward the last remaining water sources. Their path is not random. It follows ancient migratory routes, etched into both landscape and instinct, carried in the genetic memory of generations. Every dawn and dusk, millions of eyes scan the skies, wary of predators. Yet their hooves never falter, pounding the earth in a steady march across the horizon. Experienced individuals take the lead, guiding the herd through pastures where water still lingers, feeding on the season's final patches of nutritious grass while avoiding the ambushes of lions. The herd itself is a living fortress. Most are females with calves, and when they rest, the young are placed in the center, shielded by vigilant mothers and other adults. At the first alarm, every head lifts, ears twitch, eyes sharpen. This collective vigilance creates a wall of awareness that drastically lowers the risk of predation. Blue wildebeest are endurance specialists. Mature adults weigh between 150 and 250 kilograms, yet their bodies are engineered for distance. Energy-efficient muscles and physiology allow them to travel dozens of kilometers each day on little water, conserving strength while minimizing heat loss. In a sprint, they can surge to 80 kilometers per hour, fast enough to leave even the swiftest predator behind. To sustain this momentum, each animal consumes around 4 to 5 kilograms of grass daily, preferring short, tender shoots that sprout after the rains. Their digestive system is built to rapidly process vast quantities of fiber, fueling the endless march. Grazing tightly together, they remain alert even as they feed. In the rainy season, fresh grass provides not only energy but also water, reducing their dependence on scattered watering holes. In this way, the wildebeest endure, a biological river of life flowing ceaselessly across the plains. The savanna in the rainy season bursts with life. Wildebeest carve the way forward, and right beside them, plains zebras ripple across the grasslands like a living tide of black and white. Their diet is dominated by grass, accounting for nearly 97% of what they consume. Unlike ruminants with complex stomachs, zebras rely on a simpler digestive system, less efficient, but remarkably fast. This allows them to thrive on tough, fibrous grasses that few other grazers can handle. In doing so, they shape the very structure of the plains. Zebras take the taller, coarser grasses first, clearing the path for wildebeest to feed on the softer shoots beneath. What remains is trimmed even closer by Thompson's gazelles, completing a layered chain of opportunity. But zebras are more than grazers. Their stripes form a shifting shield, confusing predators and providing cover for the herds that travel beside them. Living in family groups led by a dominant stallion, each with several mares and their young, they join into larger herds during migration, where vigilance sharpens. A single snort, a sharp bark, can ripple through the group like lightning, a warning of lions or hyenas in the shadows. As the dry season grips the land and waterholes shrink, zebras lean on memory and instinct, retracing ancient routes toward the last patches of grass and dwindling streams. They remain steadfast in their feeding habits, whether in open plains or on the fringes of woodland. At night, when the sun sinks and the savanna is cloaked in darkness, zebras sleep standing. Yet one always remains awake, keeping watch. Their survival is woven from connection, constant awareness, and an ability to match the relentless rhythms of the land, a harmony etched into the very fabric of time. The rainy season breathes new life into the savanna, and with it, Thompson's gazelles showcase the full extent of their survival instincts. They graze on the tender young grasses that sprout low to the ground, a gift left behind after plains zebras have cropped the taller layers. Agile and swift, these antelopes can reach speeds of 80 to 90 kilometers per hour, as documented by field reports in 2025. Every leap, every sudden twist mid-run, becomes a weapon of survival. Their acrobatic agility allows them to pivot sharply, dodging predators in the heat of pursuit. Yet, as the rains fade and tall grasses rise along the woodland edges, danger lurks more heavily. Many gazelles fall victim here, ambushed while grazing. This is the most perilous time of the year. Within their herds, a clear family structure emerges, each group led by a dominant male, joined by females and their young. Constant vigilance defines their lives. A single snort from one gazelle can launch the entire herd into motion, a synchronized escape from a predator's shadow. Their diet is dominated by grasses, making up nearly 97%, as confirmed by a 2024 science study. Their digestive system is finely tuned for efficiency, extracting every ounce of energy from the soft shoots. When the dry season arrives, they travel vast distances, tracking the rhythm of rain and grass growth across the savanna. To deter predators, they employ stodding, high bounding jumps in a V-shaped posture. This display of vigor signals speed and health, a warning to hunters that the chase may not be worth the cost. Breeding season brings another remarkable adaptation. Between September and November, calves are born almost simultaneously in a phenomenon called birth synchrony. By overwhelming predators with sheer numbers, the odds of survival increase. Within 15 minutes, a newborn can stand. Within an hour, it can run. Many hide in the open grass, lying flat and motionless until strong enough to rejoin the herd. Each young life that endures the rains is more than survival. It is evolution in motion, a quiet triumph etched into the heart of the savanna. The leopard's gaze often falls upon a herd of impala. In the moments before a strike, silence hangs heavy, predator stillness set against the constant vigilance of prey. These graceful antelopes swivel their ears toward every whisper of sound, their bodies tuned to survival. In the dry season, when grasses wither, impala turn to leaves, shoots, and tender bark from low shrubs. The woodlands, rich with this forage, become their gathering ground. With the rains, the cycle shifts, lush grasses return, composing up to 90% of their diet. But as water sources contract, impala are drawn together at the last remaining pools. Here, each step is both a search for water and a calculation of risk. A herd becomes more than a collection of animals. It becomes an early warning system. One stands watch while others feed. Ears flick, eyes scan, and even the sudden flutter of a bird can ripple alarm through the group, sending dozens of bodies quivering on the edge of flight. Scarcity drives competition. In lean times, males guard territory with greater intensity, marking boundaries and fending off rivals. A stronghold is everything, a patch of forage, a source of water, and a haven for females. Battles for dominance echo across the woodland, sharpened by necessity. Unlike the armor of buffalo or the sheer mass of elephants, impala possess only speed and agility. Their defense is motion. Leaps that reach 3 meters high and stretch 10 meters forward in a single bound. Bodies like springs coiled with energy. Yet even this is not always enough. At the water's edge, a leopard's ambush unfolds in an instant. Hooves thunder, dust erupts, and the herd scatters in a storm of motion. The weakest, the young, the weary, the careless, are often left behind. The herd moves on without pause. No cries, no mourning, only silence. And for the leopard, the hunt does not end with impala. Beneath the red dust and scattered clearings of the woodland, another quarry soon comes into focus. A warthog, Africa's wild pig, armed with curved tusks, feeds in a posture unlike any other grazer. Dropping to its knees, it roots for tubers and bulbs hidden beneath the hardened woodland soil, extracting life from the earth where others cannot. Unlike most burrow dwellers that retreat in daylight, warthogs are creatures of the sun. Their behavior is strictly diurnal. By night, they vanish underground, often occupying abandoned aardvark burrows. There, families huddle close, females and young forming a living barricade at the entrance against prowling intruders. When threatened in the open, escape comes not through solitary flight, but in a collective dash toward safety. Heads lowered, they plunge into a burrow, sometimes driving predators to abandon the chase rather than risk tusks and injuries. Still, warthogs remain a cornerstone of the leopard's diet. A study by Swanepoel revealed they represent nearly 9% of prey biomass and over 1/5 of successful hunts. Though smaller than many antelopes, their sheer availability makes them a tempting prize. Yet warthogs are vulnerable in ways that favor the predator. Poor night vision, scant body fat, and thin hair leave them ill-suited to darkness and cold. They must feed during the hottest hours of the day, kneeling in the dust, exposed. Ironically, this survival strategy makes them more predictable and more easily hunted. At dusk and dawn, when leopards prowl with greatest stealth, warthogs emerge from their dens. Some leopards have learned this rhythm. They wait at the burrow mouth, motionless, patient, and in that fatal instant, when a snout breaks the surface, survival turns to ambush. A crust of mud falls, tusks strain against coarse hide, and predator and prey meet in the raw equation of life. A stark, unflinching portrait of survival in the African woodland. As the echoes of primate calls fade like distant bells in the canopy above, movement stirs on the forest floor. A black-backed jackal strides through the undergrowth with quiet confidence. Its pelt is a mosaic of colors, silvery gray across the flanks, rusty brown along the sides, and a bold, inky stripe running down the spine. Tall, pointed ears pivot like radar dishes, while sharp amber eyes scan the woodland, alert to every rustle and whisper. Weighing between 6 and 13 kilograms, the jackal is small by predator standards, yet speed, agility, and cunning turn its size into an advantage. Slipping silently between branches and grass, it navigates terrain where larger carnivores cannot follow. The black-backed jackal is both hunter and opportunist. Alone or in pairs, it scours the woodland for prey. In the rainy season, when life bursts forth, the variety is endless. Beetles and termites scuttling beneath fallen leaves, fledgling birds testing fragile wings, rodents darting through tangles of roots, and hares bounding across the grasslands. At waterholes, jackals lie in wait watching for thirsty visitors. And when the scent of death carries on the damp air, they are quick to respond. With an extraordinary sense of smell, they can detect carrion from more than 2 kilometers away, ensuring they rarely miss the chance for a free meal. But survival here is not only about food, it is about family. Black-backed jackals are among the few monogamous canids in Africa. A bonded pair may remain together for life, hunting side by side and raising their pups as a team. Births often coincide with the rains, when food is plentiful. While the female nurses the young in the safety of a den, her partner stands guard, patrolling the territory and fending off intruders. Their haunting howls echo through the woodland, serving both as warnings to rivals and declarations of their claim. More than predators, these jackals are custodians of the ecosystem. By scavenging carcasses, they accelerate decomposition and prevent the spread of disease. By hunting rodents, they keep populations in check, reducing the risk of crop damage and outbreaks of parasites. Recent research by the East African Institute of Ecology reveals that woodland areas with thriving jackal populations see faster breakdown of animal remains and fewer swarms of blowflies and decay-feeding insects. They are the silent cleaners of the Miombo woodland, small, resourceful, and indispensable to the balance of life. Once again, our gaze turns skyward, not to the swift silhouettes of monkeys leaping through the canopy, but to a sudden flare of color against the rain-washed sky. A lilac-breasted roller unfurls its wings, a living rainbow painted in violet, emerald, turquoise, and a soft blush of pink across its chest. Though only 36 centimeters in length, this bird commands attention with its unmistakable flight. Rolling and twisting through the air, it performs dazzling acrobatics, part hunting strategy, part courtship dance, timed with the rhythm of the seasonal rains. The downpour awakens its prey, grasshoppers stirred from cover, beetles scattered across the grass, From a low perch, the roller dives in a flash of color, snatching its quarry mid-flight. Unlike flocking birds, lilac-breasted rollers live in pairs, staking out modest territories anchored around tall trees beside open grasslands. From these vantage points, they hunt, watch, and proclaim ownership of their airspace with a sharp, echoing call. The Serengeti woodland holds its giants, even in the unforgiving grip of the dry season. Among them, the African buffalo, moving in herds that number in dozens, sometimes hundreds, advances like a slow, silent current of muscle and resolve. Beneath the scorching weight of land and sky, they do not rush. Long memory guides their steps, each path etched across generations, linking dry grazing grounds with the valley's last waterholes. Within the herd, order prevails. An experienced bull takes the lead, guiding movements and responses to threats. Females and calves cluster in the center, bound by a hierarchy maintained through subtle signals and quiet discipline. At midday, they pause beneath rare patches of shade. With bodies too massive to easily shed heat, this respite is more than comfort. It is survival. Yet hunger, thirst, and predators press against them. At the woodland's edge, leopards prowl. Their defense is unity. When one calf cries, the herd surges as one, mobbing behavior. Dozens of bodies pushing back against a predator turns hunters away. For a leopard, a wrong calculation could mean death. An adult buffalo can charge at 50 kilometers per hour, horns curved downward with the weight of sledgehammers, enough to shatter even lion or leopard. Still, calves on the outskirts remain vulnerable. It is in those twilight hours, at the water's edge, that predator and prey test each other most. Buffalo rely less on sight or hearing, instead wielding an extraordinary sense of smell to detect danger. They cluster tight, compensating for their weaknesses with sheer collective strength. Their diet, limited almost entirely to dry grasses, forces them to roam farther as the season deepens, competition sharpening between dominant males. But this strength can turn ferocious. Each year, across Africa, buffalo claim more human lives than many apex carnivores, an estimated 200 deaths annually, surpassing even lions and crocodiles. Wounded or provoked, they strike with terrifying unpredictability. Some stories tell of buffalo that return the next day to confront a hunter, memory fueling vengeance. Yet behind the horns and fierce gaze lies resilience. Their grazing clears thickets, their waste fertilizes the soil, their movements shape the landscape itself. Ecologists call them living fortresses, shields against predators, architects of the ecosystem. And here, in the Serengeti, their clash with the leopard forms one of nature's most iconic duels. One armed with persistence, the other with precision, both driven by hunger, water, and the relentless demand to survive. But even for the leopard, there exists a rival far more dangerous, a creature it hesitates to face. Following in the footsteps of the lion, the silent sovereign of the hunt, emerges the spotted hyena, a strategist in its own right. Its eerie laughter ripples across the savanna, carried on the dry wind. Sometimes it marks the triumph of a stolen feast, Other times, the quiet reward of a kill unchallenged. Yet always, it chills the night air. As dusk falls, hyenas materialize like shadows, trailing the endless herds of wildebeest and zebra. Opportunists by nature, they hunt and scavenge, preying on the young, the weak, or the weary. They follow the migration with patience, waiting for a single misstep, a moment of weakness, ready to strike or to steal from another predator. Each encounter is a silent battle written into the rhythm of survival. Communication is their weapon as much as their teeth. The strange, high-pitched laugh is not mere amusement. It is a coded signal, carried far across the plains. It rallies the clan when prey appears or when opportunity beckons. To the hyena, sound is strategy and laughter is power. Their society is as complex as their hunts. Spotted hyenas live under a matriarchal rule. The females are larger, stronger, and dominant. A daughter inherits her mother's place in the hierarchy, and the strength of the clan rests heavily on maternal status. This tightly woven structure ensures rank, stability, and advantage in a land where competition is unrelenting. Yet their importance runs deeper. Hyenas are the savanna's ecological cleanup crew. Their jaws exert a force of nearly 5,000 newtons, capable of crushing bone that few others dare touch. Where lions and leopards leave behind scraps, hyenas consume everything: flesh, tendon, bone, even calcium. In doing so, they recycle what would otherwise decay, returning vital nutrients to the land. Even in the brutal dry season, when hunger sharpens into desperation, they adapt. Hyenas will consume their own fallen kin, not from cruelty, but from instinct, a grim yet efficient means of survival. Nothing is wasted. Every death fuels the living. When they hunt, small groups of 3 to 5 are enough. Short, relentless chases can bring down Impala, Warthog, or even baboons. Combined with their unmatched ability to scavenge, this makes them one of Africa's most efficient predators. Every hyena is a portrait of cunning, resilience, and adaptation. On the savanna, the clan endures. They never falter, even when the matriarch herself falls. And then, across the golden grass, a flicker of movement betrays their presence. Camouflaged in tawny coats, their spots catch the light, small dark signatures of one of nature's most misunderstood hunters. On the upper branches of an acacia tree, just stripped clean of its highest leaves by a Masai giraffe, the canopy stirs. A flash of movement ripples through the lower limbs. A vervet monkey darts from branch to branch, scattering sharp alarm calls that echo through the woodland like fractured warnings. Small in stature but striking in appearance, the vervet is instantly recognizable. Its silvery gray coat frames a black face and piercing, cold, dark eyes. A long tail balances each leap across the treetops, while adult males display a pale blue patch of skin on their bellies, a vivid signal in social encounters. True opportunists, vervet monkeys thrive on variety. In the rainy season, their diet expands to include fruits, seeds, insects, and tender leaves. Their ability to forage both in the canopy and on the ground allows them to capitalize on the abundance brought by the rains. Yet abundance attracts danger. To survive, vervets rely on cooperation. In coordinated groups, they remain vigilant. At the faintest shadow of a leopard or the heavy wing beat of a martial eagle, a sentinel's shrill alarm pierces the silence. These calls not only warn their own troop, but ripple outward, alerting other species as well. Remarkably, vervets can distinguish predators, issuing different alarm calls for threats from land or sky. Within their troops, a strict hierarchy shapes movement and defense, as dominant individuals lead and safeguard the group. The rains also mark a season of exploration. Vervet troops range further afield, probing new patches of canopy and damp grasslands, lands rich in food, but also rich in risk. As their alarm cries fade into the woodland, another voice rises from the canopy. Deeper, more resonant, it rolls like a drumbeat through the trees, the call of the black and white colobus monkey. These elusive primates, known scientifically as Colobus guereza, spend nearly their entire lives in the treetops of the Serengeti woodland. Draped in jet black fur, edged with flowing white, they seem like living shadows trimmed in silk. Their long, brush-like tails act as counterweights, and though they lack a true thumb, their curved fingers hook branches with precision, making them masters of arboreal movement. Unlike the adaptable vervid, colobus monkeys are leaf specialists. During the rains, they dedicate themselves to feeding on tender, protein-rich leaves. To digest this fibrous diet, they possess a multi-chambered stomach, much like ruminants, teeming with bacteria that break down tough cellulose. Colobus groups are small, family-based units of 3 to 15, typically led by a dominant male with several females and their young. Bonds are reinforced through grooming, close resting, and their signature resonant calls. These booming voices are not only declarations of territory, but also a way of keeping contact across the thick, rain-soaked canopy. Unlike ground-dwelling monkeys, colobus rarely, if ever, descend to the forest floor. Every aspect of life, feeding, traveling, even sleeping, takes place high among the branches. It shields them from many predators, but also ties their fate to the forest itself. In the rainy season, as branches swell with leaves and extend outward, the colobus can traverse the treetops with astonishing grace, leaping up to 15 meters in a single bound, never touching the earth below. Perched high on a barren branch, a shadow surveys the land below. It is the martial eagle, Africa's largest bird of prey. With wings stretching nearly 2.5 meters, this raptor commands the skies. From its vantage point, the eagle's piercing vision sweeps across the woodland. Every flicker of movement, a young monkey, a ground bird, or an unwary Impala calf, falls within its gaze. Once locked, the descent is swift and unerring, a dive like a living spear cutting through the air. In the dry season, the rising heat stirs powerful thermals, invisible highways in the sky. Martial eagles ride these currents effortlessly, gliding for hours across their territories with scarcely a wing beat. Field studies in Kenya's Masai Mara reveal the precision of their hunting rhythm. Males averaging just over half a hunt per day, females slightly less, yet each successful strike brings several kilograms of prey, often larger targets taken by the heavier females. Their diet is diverse: young antelope, ground-dwelling game birds, and primates among their favored quarry, but their influence extends far beyond predation. By regulating populations of smaller birds and mammals, martial eagles shape the delicate balance of the Serengeti woodland, indirectly molding vegetation and prey dynamics in ways unseen from the ground. Silent, solitary, and sovereign, they are not just hunters of the sky, but keystone guardians of the ecosystem. As the apex predator of the skies, the martial eagle mirrors the leopard's role on the ground, a stabilizer of the ecosystem, a regulator of balance. Yet, this aerial sovereign now faces an uncertain future. Since 2020, the International Union for Conservation of Nature has listed the species as endangered. Habitat loss through deforestation, collisions with power lines, and escalating conflict with humans have steadily eroded their numbers. Wings that once spanned the African skies in abundance now grow fewer with each passing year. Their absence leaves not only silence in the treetops, but a void in the intricate web of life they once upheld. As the martial eagle folds its wings beneath the bare branches and the last light softens across the woodland floor, another resilient force stirs. Africa, an ancient continent, vast and untamed, where the land breathes with stories older than time itself. Here, beneath endless skies and across sprawling landscapes, survival is a daily struggle written in dust, shadow, and blood. At the heart of this wilderness live the ultimate predators. They are nature's finest creations, shaped by millions of years of evolution into hunters of unmatched skill. Lions command the open plains, their roars echoing like thunder, a reminder that they are rulers of the savannah. Leopards slip silently through dense woodlands, masters of stealth whose presence is known only when it is too late. The cheetah, built for speed, transforms every chase into a high-stakes pursuit of life and death. In the waterways, crocodiles lie in wait with ancient patience, their ambush sudden, swift, and absolute. But this land of predators is not defined by violence alone. Each hunter is a keeper of balance, ensuring that the great herds do not overwhelm the fragile ecosystems. The wildebeest migration, the movements of zebra and gazelle, even the nesting of birds, all are shaped by the shadow of these hunters. Predators are not destroyers, they are guardians of equilibrium, silently holding together the web of life. And yet, Africa remains a place of mystery. Beyond the familiar giants, other predators roam. The painted wolves, whose teamwork rivals the most disciplined armies. The hyena, cunning and resourceful, often underestimated yet vital to the circle of survival. And the birds of prey, whose keen eyes dominate the skies. To step into Africa is to enter a realm where beauty and brutality coexist. Every dawn brings new stories of courage, rivalry, and resilience. Every dusk whispers of survival hard-won beneath a fading sun. This is not merely the story of predators. It is the story of Africa itself, majestic, mysterious, and eternal. Before we take you deep into the heart of Africa's mysteries, share with us where you're watching from. We're truly excited to connect with you. Welcome to the mysterious heart of Africa, a realm ruled by the ultimate predators. The crimson sky spills its fiery glow across the still waters of the Rufi River. As the sun dips beneath the horizon, a shadow darts past. Cheetah. Swift and silent, an arrow of muscle and grace, carving through dust and silence, leaving only a blur and the echo of quiet despair. Not far behind, a lion stalks the savanna, low to the ground, each step melting into the rhythm of the wind. No rush, no waste, just the chilling patience of a night predator. Nearby, a herd of elephants arrives at the marsh. Trunks lift, curl, and plunge, pulling streams of water from the earth with explosive bursts of spray. Every movement here matters. Even the slightest motion could shift the balance, because Nera doesn't make room for bystanders. Hippos anchor the riverbed. Buffalo must guard every sip of water with caution. One misstep, and the wild takes its toll. Across grasslands and rolling hills, predators lie in wait, fangs sheathed, muscles coiled, ready for the first mistake, because in this land there is no mercy. Here, in this vast and undisturbed wild, African wild dog packs thrive. Their life cycles remain stable, unbroken by human interference, unthreatened by the fragmented territories that plague so many elsewhere. Sparse imprints of black rhinoceros track across the dry earth, quiet traces of a relic from another age. These ancient beings survive here, protected fiercely from the shadows of poaching that haunt much of their range. Above the treetops, the deep, echoing calls of the southern ground hornbill ripple through the forest. Sounds that have gone silent in many other corners of the continent still ring out here, bold, unbroken. Nera is more than just a refuge. It's a last stand, a stronghold against extinction, a place where nature is still allowed to mend itself, and where endangered species are free to carry on their story, on their own terms. Now shift your gaze below the water's surface. Here, beneath the shaded banks, where the floodplain forest locks in moisture year-round, another giant lies submerged, silent and still. Herds of hippopotamuses rest in the cooling shallows, their massive forms cloaked by murky water, waiting for night to fall and the land to call them ashore. They surface only briefly, taking a breath every few minutes before vanishing once more beneath the river's calm facade. As night falls, they emerge silently from the water, treading ancient, well-worn paths toward the open grasslands. Here, under the cover of darkness, each individual may graze on up to 40 kilograms of fresh grass in a single night. Though they do not hunt, these giants, strict herbivores, do not go unchallenged. Lions and Nile crocodiles sometimes linger near the riverbanks, posing a threat to the young or the weak, especially when the dry season shrinks the lifeline of water. Yet few creatures dare to confront a fully grown hippopotamus, weighing between 1,500 and 1,800 kilograms, with jaws capable of opening to an astonishing 150 degrees. The hippo is a living embodiment of raw power and unyielding resilience. They are not predators, but when provoked, they've been known to take down crocodiles, African buffalo, even humans. In the riparian woodlands of Nera, Hippo herds are often matriarchal, led by older females. Dominant males, meanwhile, patrol beneath the surface, guarding territories with silent vigilance. Their survival is not just physical, it's evolutionary. The hippopotamus shares a distant lineage with whales, their mutual ancestor, a semi-aquatic creature from the artiodactyl order known as Indohus, roamed the earth some 55 million years ago. Part land dweller, part swimmer, Indohus eventually gave rise to two distinct branches. One adapted entirely to the sea, evolving into whales. The other remained semi-aquatic and became today's hippo. Despite their differences, whales and hippos still share striking biological traits: low-frequency underwater communication, water-based birthing, and the remarkable ability to hold their breath for up to 6 minutes, thanks to a highly efficient oxygen regulation system. Even the pink sweat secreted from a hippo's skin serves more than one purpose. It acts as both a natural sunscreen and a powerful antibacterial shield, perfect for Africa's unforgiving climate. But their role extends far beyond survival. Hippos are vital architects of river ecosystems. Through their muck-spreading behavior, they redistribute nutrients across aquatic habitats, allowing aquatic plants to thrive. This, in turn, nourishes fish populations, fish that sustain iconic avian predators like the African fish eagle and Pell's fishing owl. Sharing this watery domain is another figure, sometimes rival, sometimes neighbor, the Nile crocodile. Patient and silent, it lies in wait just beneath the surface, with only its eyes, ears, and nostrils exposed. Perfectly still, perfectly poised, awaiting the fatal moment when an unsuspecting animal steps forward for a drink. With a bite force reaching approximately 22,400 newtons, it holds the crown as the dominant predator along the riverbanks. This extraordinary power comes from large muscle groups developed around the skull and lower jaw, specialized for snapping the jaws shut with immense force. But such evolution comes at a surprising trade-off. The muscles responsible for opening the jaws are so small and weak that even a thin strip of tape could keep a fully grown crocodile's mouth shut. This reveals a clear evolutionary priority. Nile crocodiles have maximized offensive strength at the expense of flexibility. They don't need agile jaw control, as they rely on explosive bursts to clamp down on prey in an instant. Another remarkable trait is their ability to hold their breath for up to 2 hours when completely still, thanks to a mechanism that stores lactic acid in their blood. Even more curious, the gender of Nile crocodile hatchlings is determined by incubation temperature. Below 30 Celsius mostly yields females, while above 32 Celsius mostly produces males. This biological quirk allows populations to self-regulate their male-to-female ratio in response to climate fluctuations. Within the riparian forest and riverine woodland ecosystems, Nile crocodiles help regulate populations of fish and mammals that come to drink. During the dry season, as fish concentrate in shrinking pools, crocodiles move closer to the riverbanks, improving hunting success and asserting their territory with low-frequency underwater rumbles. With top swimming speeds of up to 35 kilometers per hour and the ability to strike suddenly, Nile crocodiles not only hunt with remarkable efficiency, but also help ease pressure on other thirsty wildlife like hippos and elephants, keeping the delicate balance of the river's edge intact. Stepping out from the humid riverine forests, the landscape opens into vast savannas and sweeping miombo woodlands that stretch all the way to the horizon. It's a place of dryness and intense heat, yet it forms the biological heart of Nera National Park. With its mix of shrubs, tall grasses, and the signature miombo trees, especially Brachystegia and Julbernardia, this region offers a perfect habitat for the park's most powerful predators. Two distinct rainy seasons bring between 750 and 1,300 millimeters of rainfall each year, breathing life into the landscape and setting the rhythm for plant growth cycles. In contrast, the prolonged dry season, marked by minimal rainfall, forces wildlife to travel longer distances in search of water and food. This harshness is precisely what drives the remarkable survival strategies found across this terrain. In this sun-scorched, sparsely vegetated land where rain is a rarity, the African elephant not only survives, it transforms its environment. Through sheer intelligence and powerful social bonds, it shapes the landscape to its will. As deeply social creatures, elephants live in tightly knit herds, typically led by an experienced matriarch. She guides their movements, imparts crucial knowledge, and shields the young on their perilous journey through the wild. The elephant's trunk is more than a tool, it's a lifeline. With over 40,000 muscles, it performs a wide range of tasks, plucking tender leaves, snapping thick branches, digging for hidden groundwater, and even carving paths and waterholes that benefit countless other species. This muscular marvel can draw up to 12 liters of water in a single pull, an essential skill in searing heat where temperatures often soar beyond 33 degrees Celsius. Their spatial memory is extraordinary. Elephants can recall the locations of dozens of seasonal water sources and feeding grounds, traversing up to 30 kilometers a day in search of them, an advantage that proves vital during long droughts. Just like their Asian relatives, the African elephant herd revolves around the oldest female, the matriarch. But her leadership isn't earned through dominance, it's won through wisdom. Her memory and decision-making can mean the difference between life and death for the group. African elephants also possess remarkable emotional intelligence. They engage in greeting rituals, share food, and mourn their dead with touching displays of grief, behaviors that hint at a depth of feeling rarely seen in the animal kingdom. In the brutal world of the savannah, this emotional complexity doesn't make them vulnerable. It makes them among the most resilient and socially intricate beings on Earth. According to a 2024 report by the Worldwide Fund for Nature, the African elephant population in the Nera ecosystem has rebounded to nearly 20,000 individuals, a conservation triumph amid escalating climate challenges and the shadow of poaching. Once brought to the brink by the ivory trade, elephant numbers are now stabilizing, thanks to rigorous monitoring and grassroots efforts. Community-led conservation has given these giants a second chance. As the great herds fade into the horizon, their silhouettes swallowed by the golden dust, another chapter begins. From the grasses, towering figures emerge, the Africa buffalo, stepping into the open savanna like ancient warriors. They gather in vast numbers beneath the unforgiving African sun. Stoic, enduring, and unyielding, the African buffalo stands as a living symbol of resistance and survival. During the rainy season, These formidable animals come together in massive herds, sometimes numbering in the thousands. It's more than a spectacle, it's a strategy. In such large numbers, individuals reduce their chances of being singled out by predators, especially lions, in the arid savanna and woodland zones. Buffalo are a favorite target for lions. A 2024 study revealed they account for 46% of lion hunting attempts and provide over half the total biomass consumed. This intense pressure has shaped the buffalo's behavior, giving rise to extraordinary defense tactics. When danger looms, calves are instinctively shielded at the center of the herd, while the strongest males form a living wall at the perimeter. These defenders don't flee, they fight. Armed with curved horns and raw muscle, they have been seen confronting and even repelling lions in dramatic displays of force and unity. Recent genomic research conducted between 2023 and 2024 uncovered that African buffalo possess a genome of approximately 2.65 gigabase pairs, with significant signs of natural selection in immune-related genes. It's a genetic testament to the constant battle for survival and the species' remarkable adaptability. Buffalo herds prefer open savannas close to water, migrating with the rhythm of the seasons to chase greener pastures and avoid scarcity. As the sun dips below the horizon, shadows stretch across the plains and a hushed tension sets in. The buffalo grow alert. Somewhere in the tall grass, a lion moves, silent and unseen, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. In the dry savannas and woodlands of Nera, the lion's hunt is more than a primal instinct. It's a masterclass in coordination and strategy. Unlike their counterparts in more trafficked reserves like the Serengeti and Masai Mara, where artificial relocations and fragmented corridors have led to genetic mixing, the lions of Nera remain wild and genetically construct. Isolated by nature, their bloodlines have endured with rare purity. Here, hunting is a calculated team effort. Prides move silently through towering mambo grasses, which can grow up to 2 meters high, perfect natural cover for the ambush ahead. Each lion plays a role in this deadly choreography. Lionesses, swift and agile, initiate the ambush and execute complex flanking maneuvers. When it's time to bring down a formidable target, like a full-grown African buffalo, it's the males who surge forward, their power critical in the final takedown. A 2024 study in these arid zones revealed a clear preference. 56% of successful lion hunts target African buffalo. These prey account for over half the total food mass consumed by a pride. And during the dry season, when buffalo travel farther for water and visibility is reduced by the tall grass, the lion's advantage grows even greater. Recent camera trap data from Matame, a prey-rich waterhole deep within Nera, recorded a staggering lion density of 6.27 adults per 100 square kilometers in the dry season. Compare that to just 0.33 per 100 square kilometers in the eastern saltgrass plains of Celis. The difference underscores a fundamental truth. A stable prey base, especially buffalo, is vital to sustaining a thriving lion population. But in the wild, no meal is ever guaranteed. Just as the lion settles in to enjoy its hard-fought prize, a presence stirs in the shadows, cunning, watchful eyes that have followed the action from a distance. Before the lion even notices, the carcass is gone. In such cases, there's one prime suspect, the spotted hyena. Across the dry savannas and woodlands of Nera National Park, a cunning force prowls both day and night, the spotted hyena. Often mischaracterized as mere scavengers, these formidable predators are, in truth, among Africa's most successful hunters. Blending the instincts of both predator and opportunist, hyenas operate with remarkable versatility. They roam the landscape in large clans, sometimes numbering between 20 and 80 individuals. Within these clans exists a social structure as complex as that of primates, dynamic, hierarchical, and deeply cooperative. This cohesion allows them to execute strategic hunts and fiercely defend their territory.A 2024 study revealed that spotted hyenas acquire between 60 to 95% of their food through active hunting, particularly excelling against prey like wildebeest and Impala. Group coordination, speed, and relentless endurance make them lethal in pursuit. While they may lack the raw stature of lions, hyenas rival them in every other way. The two species compete intensely, sharing nearly 60% of the same food sources. During the dry season, when water becomes scarce and prey flocks to dwindling waterholes, hyenas exploit the cover of darkness and the open terrain. They often arrive after lions have fed, or sometimes they steal the meal entirely. But in Nera, hyenas don't simply scavenge, they hunt on their own terms. Small hunting parties, usually 2 to 5 individuals, target mid-sized prey, chasing down antelope at speeds reaching 60 kilometers per hour. And in this region, their hunting success rates often match or even exceed those of lions, thanks to adaptable strategies and high efficiency in semi-open woodland terrain. Beneath their cunning lies sheer power. The spotted hyena boasts the strongest bite force of any land carnivore in the Hyenidae family, up to 4,500 newtons, capable of crushing massive bones, even those of buffalo and giraffe. Their advantage goes beyond strength. With exceptional agility, hearing that extends up to 10 kilometers, and an array of deceptive vocalizations, hyenas hold a distinct tactical edge in the fierce contest for food. Yet their role in the ecosystem runs deeper than predation. As nature's ultimate recyclers, hyenas consume nearly every part of a carcass, bones, hooves, and all, ensuring nothing is wasted. In doing so, they cleanse the landscape, preventing the spread of disease and sustaining the delicate balance of life in the wild. In this harsh, sun-beaten land, the spotted hyena emerges not as a villain, but as a vital, intelligent survivor, perfectly adapted for Africa's eternal What it gains in speed, it sacrifices in power. Unlike the lion or the leopard, the cheetah cannot climb with ease, nor can it defend its kill from stronger rivals. Its lightweight skull, designed for aerodynamic efficiency, results in a weaker bite force, limiting its ability to crush bones or grip larger prey. This fragility extends to the genetic level. Twice in the past 100,000 years and again just 12,000 years ago, the species endured severe genetic bottlenecks. As a result, today's cheetah population shares less than 4% of the genetic diversity typical of other mammals. The consequences are stark: high rates of malformed sperm, weakened immune systems, and poor adaptability to environmental shifts. Even reproduction is precarious. Pregnant females are highly sensitive to stress, and something as simple as a loud noise can disrupt gestation. Fewer than 8,000 individuals remain in the wild across Africa. Here and there, speed is both a blessing and a burden. The cheetah hunting strategy depends on keen eyesight and raw acceleration, targeting prey over short distances in broad daylight. But that burst of speed is brief, just 20 to 30 seconds, before overheating threatens collapse. And while the cheetah excels in the chase, it falters in the aftermath. It lacks the brute force to defend its kill, the stealth to avoid detection, and the social bonds to hunt cooperatively or ward off threats. A solitary specialist in a land of opportunistic competitors. In a world that favors power, numbers, and endurance, the cheetah is a fleeting blaze of brilliance, an evolutionary outlier hanging on in a race against time. In stark contrast to the cheetah's solitary sprint, the African wild dog thrives through unity, hunting not alone, but as a pack, in perfect coordination. It begins with silence, a slow, synchronized advance across the open plains, each individual aware of its role. No sound, no signal, just instinct and an unspoken bond. In a land where success favors strategy and deep-rooted social connection, this is one of nature's most brilliantly evolved hunting methods. A 2025 camera trap study in the Selera region recorded 141 African wild dogs, dispersed across 24 packs. Most groups average 6 members, though some powerful clans reached up to 23, each one a tight-knit unit, forged by necessity and bound by trust. These are not mere hunters, are elite pursuit predators. With success rates ranging from 60 to 90%, wild dogs far outperform the lion or the leopard. Each hunt unfolds like a symphony. Members communicate through a series of high-pitched chirps and whines, tracking not only the prey, but also the position and movement of every packmate. Encouragement echoes between them, helping maintain focus and stamina through long-distance chases. Capable of reaching speeds up to 65 kilometers per hour, they can maintain a relentless pursuit over 2 to 4 kilometers, gradually wearing their prey down, then surrounding and overwhelming it with precision. They move together, rest together, hunt together. And when the dry season shifts the rhythm of the land, they shift with it, expanding or contracting their territory as needed, often taking refuge in abandoned aardvark or warthog dens to raise their young. But perhaps their most extraordinary trait lies not in their hunting, but in their compassion. In wild dog society, care is shared. Stronger adults regurgitate food not only for pups, but for older or injured pack members, a rare expression of empathy in the wild. Parenting is communal, survival a shared endeavor. Today, Nera supports the largest known population of African wild dogs anywhere on the continent, between 800 and 1,000 individuals. They sweep across the savanna like a living current, fluid, efficient, and quietly magnificent. In every coordinated chase and every selfless gesture, They offer us a glimpse into one of the most profound success stories in Africa's wild heart. Not just survival of the fittest, but survival of the most united. Across the open savannas and scattered woodlands, one figure towers above all, the Angolan giraffe, also known as the smoky giraffe. With its immense height, this gentle giant has evolved to browse the treetops, reaching the leafy realm far beyond the grasp of ground-dwelling grazers. There, among the upper canopy, it finds its preferred nourishment, nutrient-rich leaves kissed by the sun. This towering advantage spares the giraffe from direct competition with other herbivores, like impalas or African buffalo. But what it gains in elevation, it forfeits in mobility. Drinking presents a peculiar challenge. To lower its head to a waterhole, the giraffe must splay its long front legs or bend awkwardly at the knees, placing it in one of the most vulnerable positions in the animal kingdom. Being the tallest land mammal on Earth comes at a cost, but nature, ever the master of balance, has equipped the giraffe with extraordinary internal adaptations. A sophisticated system of valves within its arteries and veins manages blood flow along its elongated neck, preventing a dangerous surge to the brain whenever it bends down. And its heart, an 11-kilogram powerhouse, generates the immense pressure required to pump blood up to a height of nearly 6 meters. During the rainy season, shallow pools are abundant, but even then, giraffes often prefer to hydrate through the moisture-rich foliage of acacia and commiphora trees. In the dry season, when water becomes scarce, they are forced to take greater risks. Venturing to exposed waterholes, they become easy targets ambushed by stealthy lions or lurking Nile crocodiles. Yet the giraffe endures. Blessed with a remarkable tolerance for dehydration, it can survive for 2 to 3 days without drinking, relying instead on the water stored in its leafy diet. In a world that demands both height and humility, the giraffe stands as a graceful sentinel, watchful, silent, and magnificently adapted to life above the treetops. Across the savannas and open woodlands, the Angolan giraffe, also known as the smoky giraffe, uses its remarkable height to browse from the lofty upper canopy, where nutrient-rich leaves await. This towering advantage grants it exclusive access to food sources beyond the reach of most herbivores, avoiding direct competition with ground-level grazers like African buffalo or impala. But this height comes at a cost. To drink, the giraffe must splay its front legs awkwardly or bend at the knees, assuming a position that leaves it exposed and vulnerable. Holding the title of the tallest land animal on Earth demands extraordinary internal adaptations. A complex network of valves along the neck stabilizes blood pressure, preventing a dangerous surge to the brain when lowering its head. Its heart, weighing up to 11 kilograms, pumps with powerful force to circulate blood through a body that can reach 6 meters tall. During the rainy season, shallow pools provide easier access to water. Still, giraffes often prefer to hydrate from moisture-rich leaves of acacia and commiphora trees. In the dry season, when water becomes scarce, they're forced to take greater risks, approaching waterholes where lions or Nile crocodiles may be lurking. Yet with a high tolerance for dehydration, giraffes can endure 2 to 3 days without drinking, relying on the water content of their leafy diet to sustain them. Degrees Celsius. For some, it's a reprieve. For one, it's opportunity. The leopard. A solitary figure, silent, commanding. Where lions roar to announce their power, the leopard rules through absence of sound. Every creature here knows that silence is the mark of its reign. Its golden coat, freckled with black rosettes, dissolves into bark and shadow. Its eyes burn like coals in the twilight. Yet, the short grasses of the dry season limit its cover, so the leopard turns to a different stage, the watering holes. Here, thirst draws all life together. And here, the leopard waits. Research in biological conservation confirms that during the dry months, leopards increase their hunting success by as much as 7% when ambushing near water. At night, their world expands. GPS tracking reveals they travel nearly twice as far after sunset than in daylight. Males patrol vast territories, asserting dominance. Females with cubs tread carefully, restricting their range to shield their young from rival males who may kill cubs not their own, forcing the female back into estrus. In this harsh season, such infanticide becomes more frequent. But the females fight back with strategy, concealing their young, moving dens, and mating with multiple males to blur paternity, an evolutionary safeguard against extinction. When the hunt begins, the leopard becomes a shadow. Flattened low, each step is a whisper across the dust, closing the distance with surgical precision. A single burst, and the silence explodes. Large prey are subdued with a suffocating bite to the throat or nape. Smaller victims are dispatched with a swift bite to the skull. But the kill is not complete until it is hidden. On average, the leopard drags its prey nearly 100 meters to cover, often hoisting it into the high branches of a tree, sometimes over 10 meters above the ground. Hanging carcasses sway like grim trophies, a declaration of ownership against lions and hyenas. The leopard is not bound to the earth alone. Though rarely seen, it can swim, crossing streams and narrow rivers when the need arises. In the dry season, as lakes shrink, this ability is seldom used, and the leopard instead shifts its focus to larger prey, storing energy for the lean days ahead. Here, in the grip of the dry season, the leopard endures, not through strength and numbers, but through silence, stealth, and an unrivaled mastery of adaptation. They hunt with precision, waiting for the perfect moment, never allowing prey to slip away. Here, the leopard's true weapons reveal themselves: extraordinary hearing and night vision. Its eyes are equipped with a tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer that captures every fragment of light, granting clear sight in near darkness. Its ears catch the faintest stir, the crunch of a hoof on dry leaves, the flick of a rodent tail. Even its claws withdraw completely, ensuring each step remains silent. A muscular frame delivers sudden, explosive bursts of speed, and when the leopard speaks, it does not roar. It coughs, a rasping call, low and hoarse, carrying just far enough through the woodland night to stake its claim. Not a cry to intimidate, but a signal, clear, deliberate, and understood by rivals. Through this stealth and selectivity, the leopard plays an unseen role in shaping the ecosystem. It regulates mid-sized species, small antelope, warthogs, even rodents, preventing imbalance and cascading collapse. Unlike lions or hyenas, which dominate through brute force, the leopard preserves stability through solitude, silence, and precision. Modern conservationists recognize its importance. The Serengeti Biodiversity Initiative, in a 2025 report, continues to track leopards as ecological indicators. Where leopards persist, balance endures. Their survival signals a healthy system still intact. But the leopard's mastery comes at a price. For every step it takes deeper into survival, another life must falter. In the order of the wild, the endurance of one demands the fall of another. And as the herds fade into the distance, the Nile crocodile drifts silently beneath the water's surface, waiting for nightfall. Beyond the clearing, another figure enters the stage, the Masai giraffe. Stepping gracefully into the gaps the elephants have left behind. Towering above the acacias, it feeds on the tender canopy, a sentinel of the savanna's highest reaches. This is the tallest of all giraffe species and the tallest land animal on Earth. An adult Masai giraffe can stand as high as 5.9 meters, with nearly half of that height carried in its long, elegant neck. This remarkable build allows them to reach treetops few other herbivores can touch. During the rainy season, when acacia trees burst with fresh leaves, they feed from the canopy downwards. In doing so, they thin the crown, keeping it from growing too dense, and maintain the openness that defines the woodland. Sunlight filters through the gaps they create, nurturing grasses and lower plants that feed countless other species. But their towering stature also carries a hidden vulnerability. To drink, a giraffe must splay its legs or bend its knees to reach the water's surface, a moment of dangerous exposure. In that posture, they become prime targets for lions or leopards. To minimize risk, they choose wide, open watering holes, drink in rapid gulps, and then snap their heads upright, ever alert to danger. Socially, giraffes are fluid in their gatherings. During the rains, they often form temporary groups known as towers. These loose herds, made up of individuals of all ages and sexes, assemble briefly around abundant trees or watering spots. Though there is no hierarchy, safety lies in numbers. More eyes scanning the horizon means less chance of being caught off guard. Yet this giant of the savannah is now under threat. Since 2019, the Masai giraffe has been classified as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Over the last 3 decades, their numbers have plummeted by nearly half, from 70,000 to just around 32,000 in the wild as of 2024. Habitat loss, human encroachment, and poaching, whether for meat or body parts used in traditional practices, have all pushed these animals toward decline. Their story is a stark reminder. Even the tallest creatures on Earth can be brought low by pressures rising from below. The crown of the savannah belongs to only one, the lion. Unlike others, it has no need for rivalry or recognition. As apex predator, it knows its place, both as hunter and as keystone in the ecosystem's balance. Within the pride, roles are clear. The dominant male defends territory and cubs, while the lionesses, sleek, precise, and powerful, carry out the hunt. From the edge of woodlands, where shadow meets open grass, they lie in wait. This threshold is the death line, the boundary every prey must cross. Here, lionesses strike with coordinated force. The male holds back, standing sentinel against threats. Yet, tradition governs the feast. Even after a successful kill, the first bite belongs to him, a reflection of the pride's strict hierarchy. Lions are unique among cats. They live in prides, complex social units bound by cooperation, hunting, defending, and raising the young together. Males, with their thick manes, impress rivals and lionesses alike. More than ornament, the mane serves as armor, shielding the head and neck in battle. The darker and fuller the mane, the stronger and more desirable the male, as studies from the University of Minnesota reveal. A lion's roar, carrying up to 8 kilometers, proclaims dominance across the plains. It defends territory, summons allies, and keeps bonds strong in the vastness of night. For young males, life is unforgiving. At 2 to 3 years of age, they are cast out, forced to wander in search of their own realm. When they seize a pride, they often eliminate rivals' cubs, driving females into estrus, a brutal but effective strategy to secure their own lineage. A lion's territory may span 20 to 400 square kilometers, each boundary marked with scent and thunderous roars. During the dry season, water holes become magnets for prey and ambush grounds for lions. They wait by rivers, rocky outcrops, or thick cover, relying less on speed than patience and teamwork. Capable of bursts up to 80 kilometers per hour, they cannot sustain them for long, making stealth and coordination essential. Diet shifts with place and season. In the western Serengeti corridor, zebras may form nearly half of their prey, alongside buffalo, wildebeest, and warthogs. In the Masai Mara, buffalo hunts grow more common. Yet lions do not simply follow prey abundance, they choose terrain that favors the ambush. Hunting success averages just 20 to 30%. To conserve energy, lions rest up to 20 hours a day, reserving their power for the cool veil of night or the break of dawn. But even rulers are not untouchable. Across Africa, lion numbers are falling. A 2025 study in conservation biology warns that prey loss is driving population declines. It is a stark reminder. If the balance between predator and prey is broken, the entire savanna could shift. And in the open grasslands, there can be only one true sprinter: the cheetah. The cheetah is the fastest land animal on Earth, capable of reaching speeds of up to 120 kilometers per hour in mere seconds. Acceleration that rivals a Ferrari. This astonishing performance is made possible by a lightweight frame, a streamlined body, long, powerful hind limbs, and a tail that works like a rudder, steering each sudden turn with precision. But speed comes with a cost. Their narrow skull reduces wind resistance, yet it also leaves them with weaker jaws and shorter canines, ill-suited for prolonged struggles or defending a kill against larger rivals. To survive, cheetahs select their battles carefully, focusing on the vulnerable, the young, the solitary, the stragglers of the herd. Before the chase begins, a cheetah climbs a termite mound or low rise, scanning wind direction and the movements of gazelles. Like a sentry on watch, it waits for the perfect moment. When the distance narrows to less than 100 meters, the sprint begins. Explosive, lightning fast, but brief, rarely more than 300 meters, before exhaustion and overheating set in. For years, scientists believed overheating forced cheetahs to abandon hunts, but research at the University of the Witwatersrand revealed otherwise. Body temperatures during the chase rarely exceed 38.4 degrees Celsius, rising only after a successful kill, triggered not by exertion but by stress. Even with these limits, cheetahs are remarkably efficient hunters. In the Serengeti, they succeed in 40 to 50% of their attempts against Thompson's gazelles. A female can provide around 10 kilograms of food daily for her family, though she consumes less herself. To maximize success, cheetahs hunt during the twilight hours of dawn and dusk, when the savanna is cooler and dominant predators less active. Yet, unlike leopards, they cannot retract their claws. This gives them unmatched traction while running, but denies them the ability to climb trees or hoist their kills out of danger. Every hunt must be consumed on the ground, vulnerable to theft. Indeed, up to 12% of their kills are stolen moments after the takedown by lions or hyenas. The cheetah's existence is one of constant risk. Their reproductive rate is low, and their young are perilously fragile. In the wild, as many as 90% of cubs under 3 months do not survive. Hidden in the grass while their mother hunts, a single discovery by a predator can end an entire litter. Cheetahs roam vast territories, ranging from 450 to 1,500 square kilometers, patrolled with quiet efficiency. Unlike lions, they defend these ranges not with violence, but with scent, marking the land with minimal conflict. Here, on the endless plains, the cheetah is both the epitome of speed and the embodiment of fragility. Africa's most elegant hunter, racing against time, rivals, and the odds themselves. This is Tanzania's largest river system, and with each rainy season, the forest renews itself. Sediments settle, life regrows, and as the dry months return, the roots of this ecosystem reach deep, quietly maintaining underground water reserves and regulating a stable microclimate. This landscape is not just surviving, it's anchoring. It holds together the delicate rhythm of life for everything that depends on it. A biological compass guiding survival for species far beyond its borders. A sanctuary not only of nature, but of resilience. As the sun begins to dip below the horizon, golden light filters through the trees along the banks of the Rufi River. On the low-hanging branches, a troop of vervet monkeys gathers, petite bodies cloaked in sleek gray coats, framed by the soft glow of dusk. They're drawn to the cool refuge of the floodplain forest, where the roots of ficus and syzygium trees trap precious moisture, sustaining hidden water reserves through the harsh, dry season. Vervet monkeys live in tightly knit social groups, ranging from 10 to 50 individuals. Within these dynamic communities, every member plays a role in survival. Their pale bluish-gray fur and jet-black faces make them instantly recognizable. But it's their language, an intricate system of vocal calls and gestures that allows them to thrive. Each alarm, each warning, echoes like a code, maximizing the troop's ability to detect and escape threats. Masters of survival. Vervets rely on sharp memory, flexible diets, and an almost instinctive understanding of their environment. They track seasonal fruiting patterns and adjust their movements with precision, conserving energy, always planning ahead. Studies from Lake Minyara reveal how adaptable they truly are. Even as water levels rise and fall, vervet populations remain stable in riverine forests, shifting their home ranges to cooler, food-rich areas with ease. Through these adaptive strategies, vervet monkeys become more than just forest dwellers. They become ecosystem engineers. They disperse seeds, they regulate insect populations, and they serve as living indicators of the forest's overall health. In this borderland between river and canopy, their resilience tells a deeper story of life, balance, and quiet intelligence thriving at the edge of the wild. From the towering treetops along the Rufiji River, a piercing cry echoes across the floodplain. It's the unmistakable call of the African fish eagle, Africa's avian anthem. With wings spanning nearly 2.5 meters, this striking raptor is instantly recognized by its snow-white head and chestnut body, a symbol of strength and elegance. They live in bonded pairs, nesting high above the riverbanks where dense riparian forests offer both shelter and a commanding view of their watery domain. Here, the African fish eagle reigns as both sentinel and hunter. Its hunting style is nothing short of spectacular, soaring high on thermal drafts, scanning the glimmering surface below. Then, in a sudden burst of power, it dives, talons outstretched, snatching fish up to 2 kilograms from just beneath the water's skin. In seconds, it lifts its prize skyward, retreating to the shore for a quiet feast. But this master of the skies is not above a little piracy. Opportunistic and cunning, it will sometimes steal catches from other birds, kingfishers, pelicans, flashing its dominance with calculated ease. As the dry season sets in and fish retreat into deeper pools, the eagle moves closer to the banks, its haunting call echoing louder through the thinning canopy. This voice, bold, resonant, and unforgettable, has earned it a title, the Voice of Africa. With an estimated 300,000 to 400,000 individuals across sub-Saharan freshwater systems, the African fish eagle is more than just a charismatic predator. It's an ecological barometer. Its presence signals a rich fish population and healthy riverine forests, a living testament to balance in the wild. Its foundations lie in the powerful East African Rift System, built layer by layer over millions of years. Floodplain silts and ancient sediments gave rise to a breathtaking diversity, from sweeping lowlands and dry savannas to lush miamba woodlands and seasonal marshes. Every corner of this park feels like a different world, where the wind carries whispers of geologic time and the landscape holds stories older than memory. region's tropical climate brings two rainy seasons: short rains from November to December, and longer, more intense rains from March through May. In between, the dry season, from June to October, torches the land, cracking riverbeds and scorching the plains. Temperatures remain steady throughout the year, ranging from 21 to 33 degrees Celsius. Rainfall varies widely, between 750 and 1,250 millimeters depending on the zone, each fluctuation shaping the land in new, unpredictable ways. During the dry months, the earth splits open beneath the heat, but with the rains, floodplains erupt with life, turning the landscape into a vivid, living canvas. Together, these natural rhythms have created one of Africa's last untouched ecological treasures. Nera is more than just a national park. It's a thriving biological reserve, home to over 2,100 species of plants and more than 430 species of birds. Each thrives in harmony with the land's distinct ecosystems, from sun-drenched savannas to whispering woodlands. Here, survival unfolds in powerful, untamed rhythms. And amid this wild, unspoiled expanse, far from the grip of roads, fences, or crowded settlements, nature breathes freely. Nera has become a precious refuge for species on the brink, a final haven for animals slipping quietly out of our world. Its pristine isolation and unbroken ecosystems act as a buffer, offering protection and space for life to persist where it may have vanished elsewhere. This is not just wilderness. It is hope. One of the most striking sights in this ecosystem is the bold striping of the plains zebra, Equus quagga. Its dramatic black and white pattern cuts sharply through the greenery, standing out like spontaneous brushstrokes across the vivid canvas of seasonal wetlands and floodplains. Following the rains, these zebras gather in large herds on the lush, moisture-rich grasslands. Here, newly sprouted shoots, dense with nutrients, blanket the plains in abundance, offering a feast for grazers. They often move alongside antelope species such as Impala and Leopard, forming loose associations that provide mutual protection. While the antelope are quick to detect predators, the zebras offer strength in numbers and steady vigilance. In this symbiotic web of the grasslands, zebras also play a subtle but essential role as ecological path clearers. By consuming the taller grasses, they pave the way for smaller herbivores to reach the tender new growth concealed below, facilitating biodiversity with every bite. Data from a 2024 survey of the Selous-Nera region shows that plains zebra populations peak between December and March, coinciding with the height of the rainy season. As the landscape dries, they follow the water, seeking refuge along riverbanks and permanent waterholes where moisture still lingers. But these iconic stripes offer more than beauty. Each pattern is as unique as a fingerprint, helping individuals recognize one another. More remarkably, they serve as a natural deterrent against biting flies, like horseflies, and play a role in regulating body temperature, an essential adaptation in the searing heat and humidity of this ever-changing landscape. One of the most iconic sights in this lush ecosystem is the striking striping of the plain zebra. Bold black and white patterns ripple across their bodies, standing out vividly against the lush greens that follow the rains, like brushstrokes painted across the living canvas of wetlands and floodplains. Equus quagga often gather in large herds on these moist grasslands after the first seasonal showers, where young, nutrient-rich grasses burst forth in abundance. They are frequently seen traveling alongside antelope species such as Impala and Leque, benefiting from their companions' sharp instincts and early warnings of lurking predators. In this intricate web of life, zebras serve as ecological pathfinders. By feeding on tall grasses, they open up access for smaller herbivores to reach the tender shoots below. Survey data from 2024 reveals that zebra populations in the Salis-Nera region peak between December and March, in tandem with the height of the rainy season. As the dry months return, they retreat to areas with deeper water or follow the contours of riverbanks. But their stripes offer more than identity. They serve as a natural deterrent to biting insects like horseflies and play a surprising role in regulating body temperature, a vital adaptation in the seasonally hot and humid environment. A familiar figure in these seasonal wetlands and floodplains of Nera National Park is the African jacana, often called the bird that walks on water. With oversized feet and extraordinarily long toes, it defies gravity, stepping gracefully atop floating vegetation as if gliding effortlessly across the water's surface. This remarkable adaptation not only captivates the eye, but allows jacanas to thrive in shallow waters dense with water hyacinths, places too precarious for most other species. Feeding on insects, tiny snails, and planktonic creatures, jacanas help regulate populations of bottom-dwelling organisms, playing a quiet but essential role in maintaining microbial balance in these temporary aquatic worlds. But perhaps most striking is their role reversal in parenting. Here, females court multiple males, while males take on the full burden of incubation and chick rearing, a rare dynamic among birds. In 2024 alone, over 30 waterbird species were recorded breeding in the Nera ecosystem, including black-winged stilts, white-faced whistling ducks, and squawko herons. This biodiversity underscores the vital importance of wetland zones in safeguarding waterbird life. Delicate in form, yet fiercely adapted, the African jacana embodies the fragile resilience that pulses through these fleeting but life-filled marshlands. As the seasonal marshes begin to recede and the skies fill with the silhouettes of departing migratory birds, life in Nera enters a new phase. This time, the rhythm shifts toward the park's southwest and northwest reaches, toward the hills and escarpment woodlands that rise like ancient sentinels from the landscape. Here, the terrain becomes a fortress of stone and silence, a rugged world of exposed granite outcrops, wind-worn trees, and tangled crevices, carved over time and held in quiet dignity. Bordering Tanzania's highland zone, this elevated refuge remains cool throughout the year, with temperatures ranging from 20 to 26 degrees Celsius. The air is thinner, the forest more secretive, and while the conditions appear harsh, this stable environment offers safe harbor for creatures that choose discretion over display. Less touched by the pulse of seasonal change, the rocky hills serve not just as a dry season sanctuary, but as a testament to the quiet endurance of Nera's most elusive wildlife. Within this stone-clad stronghold dwell some of Tanzania's and the continent's most sensitive and vulnerable species. Among them, the black rhinoceros. Unlike their cousins who roll open savannas, these rhinos favor the slopes, granite hills where thick shrub layers, broken woodlands, and rocky terrain cloak them in mystery. Here, they live not just hidden, but protected. This is one of the last places on Earth where black rhinos can persist in near total secrecy. Their story is not one of spectacle, but of silence. They move slowly, deliberately, threading through conifera thickets, marking their paths with tree scars and faint, dusty footprints on the sun-baked soil. Each day, they consume more than 20 kilograms of leaves and twigs, acacia, kafura, and other hardy shrubs, methodically foraging as if mindful of the fragility of each breath they take. Their signature horn, iconic and curved, is more than a weapon. It's a tool, used for digging, stripping bark, snapping branches. It helps them survive the dry, unyielding terrain. And in these remote outposts, far from human intrusion, they are finally free from the noise. No pursuit, no flash of camera, no need to run. Here, the black rhinoceros is allowed to be what it always was, wild, whole, and unchased. Yet this ancient creature walks the knife's edge of extinction. Its vulnerability lies not only in its dwindling numbers, but in the very nature of its life. The black rhino reproduces slowly, one calf every 4 to 5 years, with mothers nursing for up to 2. Even the loss of a single animal echoes for decades. They're solitary, lacking the safety of the herd. When danger comes, they are often too slow to respond, relying instead on terrain for defense rather than speed or strength in numbers. And then there is the horn. That singular feature, made of nothing more than compressed keratin, the same material as our fingernails, has become both their symbol and their curse. To poachers, it's worth more than gold. But to the rhino, it's a lifeline. Within the Ngorongoro crater, where death leaves its signature year-round, a small but essential scavenger quietly takes the stage, the hooded vulture. Delicate in build and weighing just under 2 kilograms, it's the smallest of Africa's vultures. Yet what it lacks in size, it more than compensates for in precision and persistence. Often the first to arrive at a carcass, and the last to leave, it plays a role that few others can. Unlike its imposing cousins, such as the white-backed or lappet-faced vultures, the hooded vulture is uniquely equipped with a keen sense of smell, a rare trait among Old World vultures. This adaptation allows it to detect remains from afar, especially in the early morning before thurvals rise and before predators stir from their slumber. Its beak, slender and tweezer-like, works with surgical accuracy. It navigates the narrowest crevices of a carcass, delicately extracting remnants overlooked by larger species. Bits of skin, soft tissues tucked deep within the skull, even the eyes and brain, no detail is wasted. Its small frame allows it to slip into tight spaces and reach the hidden depths of decay, leaving behind a cleaner landscape. By consuming the final scraps of flesh, the hooded vulture reduces the risk of deadly pathogens spreading. Diseases like anthrax, botulism, and rabies, which thrive in the crater's warm, microbe-rich air. As the great herds of wildebeest begin their migration westward in late March, chasing fresh grasses in the Serengeti, the hooded vultures stay behind. They do not follow the spectacle, they remain, tethered to what is left behind. Rooted in place, they bear silent witness to nature's unending cycle, of life, of death, and of renewal. On this unforgiving savanna, even the smallest scavenger plays a vital role in keeping the balance. Predators with thunderous roars and swift, decisive strikes. Mighty warriors ensuring the delicate balance of Africa's vast grasslands. The true rulers of the untamed savanna, lions, The throne of the savannah is never easily won. Only the strongest male claims victory, securing territory, a pride of lionesses, and the right to pass on his lineage. For the defeated, exile awaits. Some roam the wilderness alone, while others lose everything. In the world of lions, power is never given. It is seized, earned through razor-sharp claws and lethal bites. Young males, cast out from their birth prides, wander the unforgiving land, waiting for their chance. They form coalitions, setting their sights on powerful prides ruled by aging kings. When the moment comes, the savannah trembles. Roars thunder through the air as the battle runs. Claws tear, fangs strike, and thick manes offer little protection against the ferocity of a challenger. In this brutal world, only the strongest survive. Only the victorious earn the right to shape the future. Beneath the vast blue sky, the first light of dawn bathes the golden grasslands. Herds of wildebeest, zebras, and buffalo graze peacefully, unaware that danger lurks in the shadows. This is no tranquil paradise. It is a kingdom ruled by predators. And at the top reigns the lion. More than just an apex predator, it is a timeless symbol of strength and authority. Its journey of survival is etched into the very essence of the wild, a tale of power, resilience, and the unyielding spirit of the savannah. The savannah is a land where vitality and harshness intertwine. A vast expanse of rolling grasslands, scattered shrubs, and winding rivers cutting through dry plains. However, not every part of this landscape is suitable for lions. These apex predators require open spaces for hunting and movement, along with sparse woodlands and low bushes for cover and ambush. Dense forests and arid deserts do not provide the conditions necessary for lions to thrive. Lions depend on a reliable water supply and abundant prey to sustain their prides. This is why regions such as Kruger National Park in South Africa and the Ngorongoro crater in Tanzania have become strongholds for these majestic predators. In these ecosystems, food is plentiful, with vast herds of wildebeest, zebras, and buffalo roaming the plains. Rivers and wetlands serve as crucial water sources, helping lions endure the harsh dry seasons. Protected reserves like the Serengeti, Okavango Delta, and Kruger National Park now stand as some of the last bastions of the lion population. Yet, survival in the savannah is far from easy. Each day brings new challenges. Water sources dwindle, prey migrates with the seasons, and dangers lurk at every turn. Rival predators such as hyenas and leopards compete for resources, while even their prey, like powerful buffalo herds, can pose deadly threats. To rule this untamed land, lions rely on unique survival strategies. Unlike most big cats, which are solitary hunters, lions form social groups known as prides, drawing their strength not only from their physical prowess, but also from the deep bonds shared among pride members. A typical lion pride consists of 10 to 15 individuals, though in ideal conditions, it can grow to as many as 30. At the heart of the pride are the lionesses, mothers, sisters, and aunts, closely bonded through generations. They work together to hunt, raise cubs, and protect their family. The pride's adult males, often brothers or close relatives, defend their territory from intruders and rival coalitions, ensuring the pride's dominance over their domain. Life within a lion pride is about more than just hunting and defending territory. It is a delicate balance of pallor, cooperation, and deep social bonds. Gentle licks on golden fur and soft head rubs are not just grooming rituals. They reinforce unity, ease tension, and reaffirm each lion's place within the pride. Every interaction, from a reassuring nuzzle to playful sparring, strengthens their connection and fortifies the pride as a cohesive unit. The African savanna, with its endless grasslands stretching toward the horizon, serves as the grand stage for a timeless saga of resilience, strength, and unity. Amid this vast and often unforgiving landscape, lion prides stand as living symbols of dominance and survival. Each member plays a vital role, contributing to the pride's success in a story written by instinct, strategy, and cooperation. At the heart of the pride are the lionesses, the true backbone of their society. Silent, yet formidable, they are masterful hunters whose strategies have been perfected over generations. Responsible for approximately 85% to 90% of the pride's successful hunts, their coordinated efforts ensure the survival of all. But their role extends beyond the hunt. They were also nurturing and fiercely protective mothers. Raising lion cubs is a collective effort, with all lionesses sharing the responsibility of care, forming a natural nursery system where each cub is safeguarded and nurtured by multiple caretakers. Seemingly small gestures, like grooming or affectionate head rubs, hold deeper significance. These acts not only reinforce social bonds, but also help maintain harmony within the pride, reducing stress and strengthening relationships. Scientific studies have shown that such interactions lower cortisol levels, promoting overall well-being among pride members. In the heart of the wild, where survival is a relentless challenge, it is not just strength or ferocity that defines a lion pride. It is their unwavering unity, cooperation, and the powerful bonds that make them rulers of the savanna. In the wild, where survival is a relentless test, these tender moments of connection are profoundly significant. When their territory is threatened, lionesses do not hesitate. They fight fiercely to protect their cubs, their pride, and the food sources that sustain them. Though they lack the imposing manes of their male counterparts, their courage is unmatched. Within them beats the heart of a warrior. Lionesses are more than just defenders. They are the stabilizing force of the pride. Their presence embodies the perfect balance between strength and gentleness, between battle and nurture. Their lives are an unending journey of endurance. They hunt to feed the pride, raise the next generation, and stand ready to defend their home. Each day is a battle for survival, yet they persist with unwavering resilience and devotion. Across the vast savanna, where the sun blazes and the winds carry dust, the lioness remains the soul of the pride, an eternal symbol of strength, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bonds that define the wild. A male lion's offensive strategy doesn't always begin with violence. Instead, it often starts with quiet observation. Before engaging, lions assess their rivals by studying scent marks left on the grass and listening to distant roars, which can echo as far as 8 kilometers. These powerful calls serve as both territorial claims and warnings, cautioning intruders of the strength that lies within the borders. But when these warnings are ignored, war becomes inevitable. When battle erupts, male lions clash with raw, explosive force. Razor-sharp claws tear through thick hides, and their powerful jaws aim for the throat, the opponent's most vulnerable point. According to 2023 data from the Panthera organization, up to 25% of adult male lions lose their lives in territorial battles. These fights are not mere skirmishes driven by instinct. They are brutal, calculated struggles for power and survival. In these deadly encounters, a lion's mane is more than just a symbol of dominance. It is a natural shield, absorbing the impact of attacks and protecting the neck from fatal bites. But in a world where numbers matter, coordination is key. Coalitions of male lions use strategic formations, launching attacks from multiple angles to overwhelm their enemies. Some members charge head-on, while others flank from the sides or behind, exploiting weaknesses with precision. This synchronized assault often proves too much for a lone defender. Powerful coalitions systematically isolate a pride's reigning male, either forcing him into exile or killing him outright. In the end, only the strongest survive. Yet even for victors, power is fleeting. No male lion's rule is permanent. As age weakens their once dominant grip, younger, stronger coalitions rise to challenge the throne, continuing the relentless cycle of power. These shifts in dominance are not just inevitable. They are essential for the pride's survival. Only the fittest males can defend against constant threats: hyenas, leopards, and rival lions, all waiting for an opportunity to strike. This is the unforgiving reality of the African savanna, where male lions must fight, conquer, and endure to reign supreme. In the unforgiving world of the African savanna, leadership within a lion pride is never granted. It must be earned through fierce battles. Only the strongest and most resilient individuals rise to the top, securing not just territory, but also the ultimate prize, the right to pass on their genes to the next generation. Dominance within a pride is about more than leading a group of lionesses. It is the key to survival and legacy. Only the ruling males are allowed to mate, ensuring that their strength is passed down. This exclusive breeding right fuels the brutal and often fatal clashes between rival males, as challengers fight relentlessly to seize control. To maintain genetic diversity and prevent inbreeding, young males are forced to leave the pride of their birth. This marks the beginning of a grueling journey, not only to claim new territory, but to fight for the opportunity to sire offspring. However, a lone male lion rarely has the strength to challenge an established pride leader. To increase their odds of success, males often form coalitions, usually consisting of brothers or close relatives. These alliances provide both physical strength and strategic advantage, with coalitions having over a 60% higher chance of overthrowing dominant males compared to solitary challengers. The battle for mating rights is ruthless. These life-or-death encounters often end with the death of one rival or the humiliating retreat of the defeated. Male lions charge at each other with immense power, unleashing razor-sharp claws and crushing bites aimed at the throat, the opponent's most vulnerable point. According to Panthera,